Okay, welcome back. This is Mr. Hassan's Maths channel. I'm now answering question number 4, part A from the February-March 2023 0580 Cambridge IGCSE paper. And this question here is all about transformations. So in this question, we're told that we're given this diagram here, this pair of axes with this triangle, shaded triangle T. The first thing we're asked to do is to enlarge triangle T by scale factor 3, center 0, 2. Now, what I like to do with enlargements is I like to use vectors, all right? So first of all, I'm going to identify the center. Remember that X is the first coordinate and the Y is the second coordinate. 0, 2 is on the Y-axis at 2. That's the center of enlargement. The scale factor is 3, so the triangle at the end should be 3 times in terms of the length as big. So this length will be 6, this length will be 3, and so on. Now, how do you enlarge this by scale factor 3? There's lots of different ways you can do it. Personally, I like to use vectors because I find it much easier. So I'm going to consider these 3 points here. Okay, these 3 points. And I'm just going to call them I'm going to call this point X, which is the center of enlargement. I'm going to call this point A, and this point B, and this point C. So if I consider the vector that takes me from X to C, okay, X to C, that takes me to that vector is going to be horizontally 3, 0. 3, 0. So that means the vector that takes me from X to the image of C, I have to multiply it by the scale factor of 3, which is going to be 3 times 3, 0, which is 9, 0. So basically, from the center of enlargement, I've got to go 9 across. So that's going to be the image of C. And if I look at the vector that takes me from X to A, it's 1 minus 1. 1 across to the right, minus 1 down. Therefore, X to A dash, sorry, that's X to A, should say. X to A dash is going to be 3 times that, 1 minus 1, which is 3 and negative 3. So you got to go 3 to the right and 3 down. So you're going to end up over here. So A dash will be over here. That's going to be the image of A. And for B, we can do a similar thing. X to B. X to B is 3 across and 1 down. So 3, negative 1. Therefore, we can say X to B dash is going to be 3 times 3 minus 1, which is 9 minus 3. So you're going to go 9 across and 3 down, and you'll end up with B dash over here. And there is your enlarged shape. Okay, there is your triangle, which you can then join those together with a ruler. You should use a ruler, please. Don't use freehand for this. And there we have our enlarged part. So if you want, you can label this as part 1, so that it's clear that that's what you've done for part 1. So there we have the answer to part 1. Okay, enlargements. There's different ways of doing it. I mean, some people will draw a line or measure that line. You can say, okay, that's from the center to here is 1, so the center to its image is going to be 3 diagonal squares. From here to there is 3, so from the center to the image is going to be 9, because multiplied by 3. And from here to here, that's where it's a bit more difficult. You can say the vector from, it's the same thing that I've just done. You're going to go one set of those, and 2 sets of those, and 3 sets of those, something like that. Anyway, whichever way you prefer, I like vectors to do this. It makes life very easy for you. I mean, some people will actually use a ruler and measure for this one. So they'll measure that distance, multiply it by 3, and then that distance should be that much. But sometimes that comes out not very accurate, but that's fine. Part 2 says rotate triangle T about 4,2 by 90 degrees clockwise. So first of all, let's look at the center. 4,2 is over here. That's the center of enlargement, 4,2. So we got to rotate it about this center. Okay, so now let's see. I've prepared something earlier. So what I would do is I'll take a tracing paper, I'll place it over this, I will sketch, or I will make a little sketch of the triangle, or trace over this triangle, okay, on the tracing paper, and then I will put the pencil on this point and rotate the paper around 90 degrees clockwise and then see where it takes the image. Okay, now I prepared my tracing paper earlier. Okay, I've prepared this earlier. So here we have our sketch. Oops, that's the center. Here we have our tracing paper. Okay, so I've put the tracing paper over. I have traced the triangle over here. I'm going to hold this. I'm going to put a pencil on top of here, and then I'm going to rotate it. Because I made this a square shape, and I put this right in the middle, okay, it's going to rotate about this center. But you don't have to do that. You can just put a pencil over the point where you're rotating, and it will rotate from there on your tracing paper. So I've done it, I had to do it this way, but here we can see it's rotating. And when this side is facing upwards, this is clockwise. When this side is facing upwards, we know that we've gone through 90 degrees. So we can see that our image is going to be right there. Okay, so our image is going to be in this place over here. So we can then complete the diagram. Okay, and you would take the tracing paper off and you would just draw the triangle there. And there we have it. That's part 2. That's 2 part A. That's 2 part A. Okay, so 1 done, 2 part A done. Okay, label the image P. Okay, so we'll label the image P. In fact, they've told us to label this image P. So I'm going to write here P. The first one, they didn't tell us to label the image. So yeah, I'll just call this P now. That's fine. You must label it P because they tell you to. So it's very important. And then it says reflect triangle T in the line x plus y equals 6. Label the image Q. So triangle T, which is our original one, in the line x plus y equals 6. So x plus y equals 6. So first we have to learn or know how to draw the line x plus y equals 6. X plus y equals 6. Now this is a straight line. Okay, where does it cross the x-axis? When y equals 0. So that's when x equals 6. Okay, when y equals 0, x equals 6. So it crosses the y-axis here. Where does it cross the x-axis? Sorry, where does it cross the y-axis? When x equals 0. When x equals 0, y equals 6. So that's going to be the point up here. So it crosses the x and y axis in these 2 points, and we can then draw that with a straight line. I'll draw it as a dotted line because it's like it's the mirror line. So that's the mirror line, x plus y equals 6. So we should draw that line accurately. So this is the line x plus y equals 6. So we got to reflect T in this line. So basically, every point is going to be the same distance on the other side of the line, but the line joining the point and its image must be at, like perpendicular to the mirror line. So this is like half a square away from the mirror line, so it's going to be half a square on the other side. That's going to be like C. I'll call it double dash because that's the 1 dash. B is going to be 1 square away, but on the other side. So it's going to be over here. B double dash. And A is going to be 2 squares away diagonally. 2 squares on that side. That's going to be A double dash. So our shape will look something like this. Let me just move the C on this side a bit. Okay, so the C is going to be over here. C double dash. So now when we join these together with a straight line, okay, we should get our image that's reflected in the line x plus y equals 6. Did they tell us to label this? Label this image Q. This is Q. And then it says, describe fully the single transformation that maps P onto Q. Well, we can see that P onto Q is a reflection in this vertical line. Okay, it's a reflection in the vertical line x equals 4. If you reflect this image P into Q, you're gonna in this line x equals 4. Okay, this is the line x equals, so vertical line going through 4 on the x-axis. That will be reflection of P onto Q. Okay, so that we can say it's a reflection in the line x equals 4. So that concludes this question. Part B is all about vectors, so I'm going to keep this as a separate question. So this is a question all about transformations. Other questions from this paper can be found in the playlist that will be showing over here, linked over here. You can click it and take you to the playlist once the video ends. You can also link to other transformation questions from IGCSE by clicking on the link at the end of the video here. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking on this link, and you can watch a video here which will tell you how to use my channel to find things that you're looking for. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.